that I came across a few days ago. And it was posted 3 weeks ago. It was posted 3 weeks ago. Pardon me. And it was posted in the r/relationship advice Reddit from a throwaway account. So you already know there's something serious going on. Okay. Now, the title of the Reddit post is, quote, "My fiance of 3 years used to work as an escort. I'm tempted to call off the wedding." Oh boy. Oh boy. So we're already in some hot water. You know, it's interesting. What seems to be happening a lot lately because of the advent of social media and the internet is that the wives and boyfriends of former working girls, they're discovering their pasts, right? A few months back, there was a story circulating about a doctor's wife who was sleeping with men for money during the marriage. This dude was a millionaire surgeon who married a pageant queen who was turning tricks on the side for her rich clientele to the tune of almost $700,000. This chick told everyone that she was living off of a $500,000 inheritance from her great-grandmother, and told her husband that she was going out with girlfriends or had to travel as a part of work to get away with being a lady of the night on the side, right? This is why I always laugh when girls balk at the idea that I do not commit to women who travel alone or go out with their girlfriends, guys. Now, this isn't to say that it always goes to this extreme, right? I mean, listen, pageant queen marries a doctor. She turns out to be an escort, and she does this during the marriage, right? But guys, I'm here to tell you, when women travel, they cheat. I should know because I've cheated with a lot of these women who were traveling to Vegas. When they go out with their girlfriends to bars or clubs, they cheat. Again, this doesn't mean that this happens all the time, but it happens enough to the point to where it would behoove a man to eliminate women from serious relationship consideration if she has habits like this. Habits that consistently put her relationship at risk. To be quite honest with you, discovering this kind of thing makes me wonder just how many women have their men sort of in the dark about what they really used to get up to during their free time. Like, a lot of men suspect that their women are cheating, as they rightfully should. But I venture to say that there are a lot more women turning tricks for money than we are aware of. Like, you'd be shocked. You'd be shocked at how many of these situations go unreported. Like, not everybody reports these or puts this stuff on Reddit, right? Like, more and more men are finding out that their fiancés or wives either used to be or actually are working girls. Now, one of the crazy parts about this particular situation in this Reddit post is that this dude appears to be just an average run-of-the-mill guy. He's 35 years old. He met his fiancée when he was 32, when she was 27, and things seem to be going well until, of course, he finds out she used to sell her body. So let's jump in and see what's going on. "My fiancée, Diana," he starts, "and I have been dating for 2 years and engaged, for 8 months. Our wedding is coming up in February. Diana is a beautiful woman, both inside and out. She has a very lively personality and is definitely the most attractive woman I have dated. She is quite outgoing and actually asked me out." So let's pause it. Let's pause it right there. Two things jump out to me immediately in terms of this possibly being a bad bet. Okay. The first thing is that this Diana character is the most attractive woman he has ever dated. That is a huge problem in and of itself. Why? Because men who have little to no experience with beautiful women are susceptible to all of the shenanigans that women pull. And don't kid yourself, gentlemen. Attractive women know when they are dealing with a man who is not experienced with handling attractive women. Women have razor-sharp instincts when it comes to this stuff. So this lack of experience was obvious to Diana. She knew from the very first interaction what she was dealing with. But he wasn't she knew that he wasn't used to dealing with women who look like her. In fact, I'd even go as far as to say that he probably actually told her, "You're the most attractive woman I've ever dated," which is an 840% a no-no. Never, gentlemen, and I mean never, tell an attractive woman you are dating that she is attractive. Show her you're attracted to her. Smack her ass. Pound her hard. Pull her hair. She'll know. She gets told she's attractive by everybody and anybody all day, every day. You're going to be the one who doesn't tell her she's attractive. You're going to be the one who has the balls to actually show her. I remember the last time I told Devin she was attractive. Sometimes I'll tell her she's hot, but that's when she's on her knees smoking my sausage, and she'll be the first to attest about that. The second thing that grabbed my attention is what Will Be Smooth just said in the YouTube chat. And that was her very lively, actually, I'm jumping ahead of myself. The second thing that grabbed my attention was her very lively personality. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. Women with lively personalities, they can be a lot of fun. They tend to be very easy to talk to, very easy to build and escalate attraction with. And they tend to be great between the sheets. No doubt about that. But outgoing women are far more likely to be unfaithful as a natural byproduct of their personality. Illimitable Man and I, we talked about this ad nauseum way back in 2016 and 2017. Extroverted women draw more attention to themselves. And this is from both men and women. And the more men a woman gets the attention of, the higher the likelihood that at some point one of them is going to tickle her fancy, as in she is going to be attracted to him. Now, this isn't a crime on its face. Understand this, guys. Just because your woman loves you does not mean that she is going to automatically stop being attracted to other men and vice versa. But when you commit to a woman with an outgoing personality, it is very important to understand that she is going to have far more opportunities to be unfaithful because she draws more attention to herself. This isn't an opinion, gentlemen. This is a fact. This is basic math. Extroverted people draw more attention to themselves while introverted people draw less attention to themselves. No, this doesn't mean that all extroverted women are cheaters. That's not what I'm saying at all. But as men, we need to make decisions based on probabilities. And when making a decision on any particular woman in terms of a possible relationship, you should opt for a woman with an introverted personality, as she is less likely to draw attention to herself. Again, on the other side of that, I'm not saying that introverted women don't cheat, because they most certainly do. Hell, in fact, they get away with it a lot easier because they are introverted. You don't suspect them. But the fact of the matter is that women with outgoing personalities are far more likely to put themselves in situations that can and will put their relationship at risk because of all the attention she is drawing to herself. So you can go ahead and commit to a woman who is the, quote, life of the party. I'm not going to be the guy who judges you if you do. Just understand that women like this are far more likely to put your relationship at risk. Now we're going to get to Will Be Smooth. Let's not let this remark get away. She asked him out. I tell my guys all the time that if an attractive woman starts hitting on you, then there is a better than average chance that she is a working girl. Because the simple fact is that attractive women don't hit on men because they don't need to. Unless, of course, she is propositioning you for a night of fun that will be invoiced when the party is over. I think it's hilarious that Diana could not hide her occupational habits when she allegedly quit being a, quote, lady of the night. So it should come as no surprise to anyone here that she was the one who asked him out. Good call on that. Will Be Smooth. Let's continue. Our relationship, he continues, has been going very well so far. We share a lot of the same hobbies. We're both into skiing, enjoy traveling, and trying new restaurants. Recently, I received multiple disturbing mails from an anonymous account. They were screenshots from an escorts agency website and showed that Diana used to work for them. Her face was blurred out, but I could still tell. They are about 8 or 9 years old, and it's legal in my country, but I was still devastated when I saw these pictures. At first, I didn't believe it, but when I confronted her, she confirmed it. She told me that from 20 to 22, she worked as an escort before quitting. She was with some high-end agency and slept with 2 to 3 men per week and made a lot of money. After 2 years, she stopped because she started to hate the work. I was kind of shocked. I didn't really know what to say. So let's do some math here. Okay. If she said she slept with 2 to 3 men a week, it means she was sleeping with 4 to 5 men per week. So let's split the difference and call it 4.5 men per week. Let's also give her the benefit of the doubt and lower it by 1.5 persons and call it just 3, just to highlight how even with these conservative numbers, just how positively disgusting this is, even though we know she slept with more than 3 men per week. Let's also assume that she only did this for 2 years, like she claims. Now, we know she did it for much longer, but because women get addicted to the money and the attention, they never stop. But let's give her the benefit of the doubt, and let's just say that she did it for 2 years, so that again, we can point out, even with these conservative numbers, just how disgusting this is, even if we believe exactly what she's telling us. 3 men per week multiplied by 52 weeks in a year is 156 men. You multiply that by 2, that is 312 men in a 2-year period. Just let that sit for a minute. Just let that sit. Over 300 men in 2 years. If you really want to get mathematical with it, she was sleeping with a different man every 56 hours for 2 years. And that's assuming that we believe it was only 3 men per week and that she only did this for 2 years. Guys, this is fucking disgusting. 312 men at least have entered this woman's body. At least 312 men have ejaculated in this woman. Her lips have been around the sausages of at least 312 men. I don't even want to think about how many protein shakes she drank or the sheer volume. Ladies, this is exactly why women with high body counts repulse us. This is why body count matters, and you all know it. And for the women watching and thinking, yuck, how disgusting, you are even more disgusting than she is. At least you got paid for taking all those loads. Y'all bitches did it for free. That's why you women out here take advantage of men who don't know any better. In your mind, somebody's got to pay you for giving away your bodies to the men who didn't have to pay. This is why you bitches download Tinder 3 days before payday for the purpose of feeding yourselves. You gave away the coochie for free and now you're broke, so you commission unsuspecting men to make you whole again. But back to the escort. The fact that she didn't tell him that she was an escort, the fact that she didn't tell him that she was an escort tells us that she, like every other woman, knows that body count matters. They know it matters. Bitches are steady squawking all the time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If it's in her past, then it's in her past. It's in her past because it doesn't matter. No, if that were the case, y'all wouldn't divide your body counts by 14. So miss me with this it doesn't matter argument, because we all know it absolutely does. We all know it absolutely does. You guys just don't like that it does. Just like incels and black pill guys hate the fact that girls don't want to fuck them because of their lack of experience, and that the fact that it's basically written in black ink on their foreheads when they interact with these girls, you guys don't like the fact that body count absolutely matters. He continues. I do not believe, he says, Diana should be shamed or anything for her past career. You want to call that a career? I just feel that I should have been made aware. I'm upset for multiple reasons, he says. The first is that she lied by omission to me. I would not have pursued a relationship if I were aware of her past career. Secondly, We waited until we were serious to have sex. This gave me the false impression she viewed intimacy in a certain way. Now, I just feel like an idiot. Ay, ay, ay. She hit him with the, I don't have sex unless I'm in a relationship. I actually talked about this very phenomenon in a video I released just yesterday. Take a look and listen. When a woman tells a man she doesn't sleep with a guy unless she's in a relationship, it means that she isn't attracted to him enough to sleep with him without him giving up something up front, which leads me to number 2. Biblical relations are not important to women. Women can get all the sausage they want anytime, guys. All she has to be is there, and she can have as many bananas, cucumbers, eggplants, and sausage she wants. Now, this doesn't mean they don't like hooking up, because they certainly do. But because it's so readily available to them all the time, sausage really isn't important to them. This is the law of supply and demand in action. But women know that bedroom fun is important to men, which is why they price gouge men they're not turned on by, who also don't realize that they can probably get some action from her for next to nothing. So when a woman meets a man who exhibits thirst, she will pretend that intimacy is extremely valuable to her to give him the impression that she is a good girl, which makes her all the more valuable to him, which compels him to pay more because she makes him think she's worth more. Women are used car salesmen, guys. They make men think that a 92 Accord with 371,000 miles on it is a 2021 Lamborghini Aventador. And because men don't regularly check the Carfax, they end up committing to, buying gifts for, and paying the bills for female who are giving what these men paid sticker for to other men for free. Females don't value their bodies, guys. Do not let them fool you into thinking they're worth any more than a one-night stand. Women say this, they act this way for exactly the reason why this guy just told us. She made him wait to have sex to give him the impression that she was sexually chaste. And surprise, surprise, he took the bait hook, line, and sinker. This guy thought to himself, oh my goodness, this beautiful woman who is showing interest in me is a unicorn. She doesn't have sex unless she's in a relationship. My ship has come in. Law number 5 of the 49 laws of Sharpe states, assume she is a slut until she proves otherwise. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for this. Take a look and listen. Law number 5, assume she is a slut until she proves otherwise. In a court of law, the accused is innocent until proven guilty. As such, the burden of proof is on the prosecution to prove guilt beyond all reasonable doubt. Any man or woman who has been paying attention over the last 2.5 decades has seen more than enough evidence to assume that most women are sluts. Everything from personal anecdotes, stories from friends and relatives, social media, and so forth proves beyond all reasonable doubt that most women sleep around indiscriminately. On the strength of decades of overwhelming evidence, it would behoove a man to assume that any given woman he is dealing with romantically is indeed a slut until she proves otherwise. Not adhering to this law. Diana knew that if this guy knew what she used to do for a living, he would never have considered her for a relationship. And listen, truth be told, more than likely, this is not the first time she's run into this problem. She was probably open and honest with a few good prospects, but any man worth his salt isn't going to take her seriously for a long-term relationship, right? They probably smashed her for a while, but never committed. So at some point, she figured out that her chances of keeping a man of any worth means leaving out the part where she used to sleep with rich men for money. But like I said earlier, the internet and the smartphone always seems to out these girls at some point in time. I mean, this apparently happened almost a decade ago, yet dude still found out about it, never fails. Now, what this also says about this guy, in terms of waiting for sex, is that number 1, he clearly had no idea how to handle today's women in such a way that reduces his odds of getting played by them. In short, he didn't have what we call game. And number 2, because his ineptitude was obvious, again, meaning he simply didn't have game, meaning he had no idea how to handle modern women, he inadvertently gave off provider vibes. Diana picked up on this immediately and went into acquisition mode. Now, what is acquisition mode, Donovan? Glad you asked. Acquisition mode for women is the act of selling purity with the intent of locking a man down. This means she is on her best behavior, She's kind, she's feminine, she's docile, she's submissive, and presents herself as a good and viable long-term option. But this guy didn't make Diana's vagina buzz, and that is why she made him wait for sex. Guys, if a woman wants to smash, she'll smash. She's not going to make you wait. This guy was clearly attractive enough to eventually smash, but she wanted to make sure she secured his commitment before giving up her overtaxed, overused hot dog in a hallway poo nanny. The longer she makes you wait, gentlemen, the less sexually attracted to you she is. This is the case with all modern women. This chick ran almost airtight long con game, and she almost pulled it off if not for these notifications. Shit, man. I mean, she even fooled them into thinking they had all this stuff in common, right? Remember the hobbies they shared? The skiing, the traveling, the restaurants, and so forth? Like, real talk, I'm willing to bet any amount of money that when she asked him what his hobbies are, he said, well, I like to ski, travel, and try new restaurants. She said, OMG, so do I. Now, the correct way to handle this question when she asks you what your hobbies are is to say you first, which, of course, you can find in my free ebook, 14 Questions She'll Ask You on the First Date and How to Properly Respond, which you can get for free at donovansharpe.com/newsletter. Then this guy says he feels like an idiot. And guys, I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel bad for the guy. Okay? I don't think he's an idiot for having fallen for this gambit. Okay? Listen, I can't tell you how many times I fell for women who sold me purity that I happily and willingly allowed myself to be price gouged. We've all been tricked by women. So I'm never going to be the guy to make fun of another guy for having played by a woman who was clearly a professional, pun definitely intended. This guy obviously did not possess the requisite knowledge or experience to see this woman for what she really was. If he had gotten his hands on any of my books, like The 49 Laws of Sharpe, which is available in video and audio format, you can also get it in ebook form or paperback form. If he had gotten his hands on any of my books or found this community before he committed to this woman, this would be a very different conversation. Way too many men in this part of the world get played by women like this all the time. And it's not because they're stupid, guys. Men aren't dumb. It's because they simply don't know. There are a lot of content creators in this community who like to shame men for not knowing things they were never taught as young men. That kind of thing turns men away. Guys, men come to us for answers. They don't come to us for admonishment for not knowing something they were never taught. Let's conclude this thing. Lastly, he says, pardon me, I own several businesses in the area. So again, we already know he is well-to-do, which is why she targeted him in the first place. With many with partners. I know that a few have pretty conservative morals when it comes to sexuality. I would have wanted to know about her past career ahead of time, so I could have thought how to deal with a potential fallout. I'm very tempted to break our engagement and call off the wedding over what I feel was a betrayal. Is this something that could be potentially resolved, he asks? Also, if I break it off, how should I tell her and how should I inform her of the screenshots? Let me go ahead and answer his questions very clearly. No. Original poster. This cannot be resolved, not even potentially. Even if he goes ahead and marries this chick, this revelation is going to haunt him forever. The longer they're together, the more he will want to know about what she used to do. And the more she tells him, the more he'll want to know, rinse and repeat. Mia Khalifa, remember, she was happily married until her husband couldn't handle her on-screen past. There's another adult film actress who recently just got married who will most assuredly face that same fate. I give that marriage, I don't know, probably less than 2 years. Any man who knows the details and the extent of a woman's sexual past, whether beyond screen, at a strip club with rich men, everyday guys, will eventually succumb to his disgust. And guys, I'm here to tell you, it's not just men who are committed to adult film actresses or former escorts. No, this is normal, everyday, average guys like you and me. If I knew the extent of Devon's sexual past, there's no way I would ever commit to her. No way. This is exactly why I tell men that it is best that you don't know about her sexual past. No matter how minimal she makes it sound, you will never get over it. Guys, every woman has a sexual past. Your woman, my woman, everybody's woman. So long as she takes to the training you provide and doesn't show her promiscuous proclivities that plagued her past, if she can be of use to you, then maybe you can have a solid relationship, and that's if you're lucky. It's possible, but it's hard work. Yes, Devin and I, we have what appears to be a good relationship. And a huge part of that reason is me. I trained her well. She was receptive to the training. And with my guidance, she has become a better woman in literally every sense of the word. But let's not kid ourselves, guys. I'm not arrogant enough to think that there was absolutely no luck involved. No, I was very lucky that she wanted to be trained. I was very lucky that she didn't spend her 20s and 30s sleeping around because she was married during that time. I had nothing to do with any of that. I didn't make her want to be trained. I didn't make her marry her ex-husband and stay with him for damn near 2 decades. That was sheer luck as far as I'm concerned, and that's for the both of us. But men in this day and age need to come to grips with the fact that every woman that you are romantically involved with will have a sexual past, an extensive sexual past. And the less you know about it, the better off you'll both be. Don't ask her about the details, don't poke, don't prod, but pay attention to her behavior and let that tell you the story. If she cannot hide her promiscuous proclivities, then you know that her sexual past is extremely extensive, which also means that you shouldn't commit anything to her outside of your cock and balls. If she doesn't show her promiscuous proclivities, that doesn't mean that she doesn't have an extensive sexual past, but it could mean that it's not as extensive as maybe most women. Again, one never knows. One never knows. You'll never know for sure. But all you can do is watch what a woman does now to possibly gauge what she may have gotten up to in her past. That's the best we can do as men. We'll never, ever know. Just got to pay attention. Now, to answer his last question, how should I tell her? Just tell her straight up, look, I know you're an escort in your early 20s, and I don't want to marry you anymore. Like, you're going to have to show her the screenshots, original poster. Okay? Otherwise, she'll deny it. So you're going to have to show her proof that you know what she used to do for a living. And again, make no mistake, this is not going to be easy for you. Okay? You obviously love this woman very much. It's very easy for a guy like me to say, just leave her, bro, because I am emotionally detached from the situation. But what I can tell you is that I have been in similar situations, meaning I had to break up with women I really, really liked. That shit's not easy. But at the end of the day, I knew that she would eventually turn my life upside down, so I did what needed to be done. Yeah, I was in pain, and yeah, it fucking hurt. But that pain pales in comparison to how things would have turned out had I stayed with them against my better judgment. Just go back and listen to the Amy story. Off the top of my head, I can think of, 8 or 9 women that I broke up with, that I absolutely did not want to have to dump. Like, I really liked these girls. And a couple of them I think I might have actually loved. But one thing I have learned in life through all of my experiences is that the hardest thing to do is often synonymous with the right thing to do. So I say to the poster, man, good luck. I hope things work out for you. I really do.